Hello guys, it's Mandalorians here. This is going to be my 100 subscriber special. What if Bell and Deku, that is being both of them, were Mandalorians? And well, this what if is going to be taken apart in the Star Wars universe. But, let's see, this is going to take place right after the Empire fell. And well, currently both Bell and Deku were born on the planet of Tatooine. Yes, it might be a bit cliche, but well. Their mother was a former mercenary, or well, a former bounty hunter, while their father used to be in the, how do you say it, Imperial Special Service. So both of them would have seen their fair share of, well, battles. And well, as the rebels, because, well, let's see, after the war, or the civil war in the universe, the rebels couldn't exactly take control over everything which the Empire had. The rebels, or well, currently the New Republic, had only maintained control in the core areas. And that is the outer rim, and well, even some of the inner rims were under the governance of warlords. Although Tatooine, that was in a bit of a, well, shall we say, neutral area. But it didn't take long, because Bell and Deku are, well, just like I said, they are currently brothers. And well, let's see, in a mining company in Tatooine sent soldiers into their village, or well, more like the town in where they were currently living in. Now then, they started killing all of the grown men and only left the children and the women left. And well, Bell and Deku's mother and father went ahead together to, well, try and fend them off. Sadly, Bell's and Deku's father, yeah, he sacrificed himself. He pushed their mother out of the way and, well, seeing as he wasn't an Imperial intelligence officer, yeah, he was able to take quite a few of their goons with him. So, yeah, Bell and Deku's mother, along with both of them, went into hiding. Well, didn't have to really hide since she had her mask on and her battle armor. So, yeah. Although after the mining operation came there, yeah, simply putting it, they enslaved them all to work in the mines. Deku and Bell's mother, well, because she was a bit of a, how do I say it, rowdy slave, not only did they kill her, but they also had turns doing horrible things to her. And keep in mind that currently both Deku and Bell are only 3 years old. So they don't know exactly what they did to their mother, although they do know that they lost their parents. And well, they were actually being taken care of an older lady, which, well, she used to be a part of the, how do you say it? Right, the Imperial Stormtrooper Corps, although now she was simply an old veteran who was also enslaved. And well, she was also the friend of their father, and so she took care of both of them, or at least for a couple of months. And after 4 months, everybody who was enslaved there was being killed. The mining company saw that they were not making a profit on Tatooine, so they simply started killing everyone there. But as they shot basically the grandmother of Deku and Bell, and before they could shoot them, another blaster is simply heard, and the soldier simply falls to the ground. Then several more explosives are heard everywhere. Several ships, which, well, Several ships which neither Bell nor Deku have ever seen, but all the soldiers of the mining company certainly did. They immediately start running, but get gunned down by somebody which Bell and Deku can't even see. And before they can even do anything, a strange man in, well, this type of armor simply comes to them. Now, the Mandalorians would save them. There aren't Death Watch or, how they say it, the Owls, which were left. These are the true Mandalorians. Them being the Mandalorians, which have their own different views and who are also outcasts of the, how do you say it, Mandalore, mainly because they were practicing things which have been practiced, well, ever since the old Mandalore, well, that is, ever since the old Mandalorian Empire. So yeah, but anyways, they came there and they took all of the enslaved children. And they put them on their ships and then they went to, how do you say it? New Typhon, I think that's the planet. And well, as they went there, they took them back to the race. When Deku and Bell were, well, posted there, they immediately began their indoctrination, along with all of the other children which were there. They were taught, well, that is, both Bell and Deku were taught beforehand how to properly shoot blasters and also how to read, because of both of their parents. So yeah. And also, Bell actually had an implant in his eye, because when he was younger he got into an accident where he was blind in one eye. So his mother scrounged up some old equipment and, well, made him a cybernetic eye, which could lock onto targets and all that good stuff. And so, as all of them were there, being trained on how to be true Mandalorians, every single day, every single week, every single month, and every single year, they were trained how to be proper Mandalorians. And eventually, after some time, that being, let's say 6 years, that, well, after all the time being at New Typhon, they got attacked. It wasn't the other Mandalorian clans which thought of the true Mandalorians as their enemies, neither was it the New Republic. It was the Empire, or currently the New Order. And well, they brought one of their cruisers and they started bombarding, well, their base. Needless to say, all the true Mandalorians immediately began to get their weapons ready and started fighting back. Along with the fact that, let's see, so in the Star Wars universe, cruisers are, I believe, stronger than frigates. So yeah, let's say that the true Mandalorians had 2 frigates. Oh, well, not exactly sure what class they are, but let's just say 2 frigates which were, well, weaker in power than the cruiser. Now, as the cruiser, that is, as the New Order, or well, the Imperial cruiser, started firing at them, one of the frigates is actually completely and utterly destroyed, killing everyone in it, except a dozen or so which were able to escape using, well, drop pods or escape pods. The other Mandalorian ships, which were, how do you say it? Let's see. They were looking like this. These were the type of ships which the true Mandalorians had, since they didn't exactly have the, I believe it was the Nubrak class, which the Mandalorians had, like the Death Watch members, which were like made on Mandalore. They didn't have those types of ships. They only had what they could get, and they mostly had these ones. So they went ahead and got the escape pods and saved as many as they could. But Imperial TIE fighters and TIE interceptors were closing in on them. That's when one pilot of the Mandalorians, let's call him Jax for now. He was their ace pilot, and also the guy who was training both Bell and Deku. He was their mentor. putting it simply. And well, he was able to destroy 7 TIE fighters and also 2 interceptors. Now, after that, the Imperial cruiser slightly backed off because just like how it was the way in the Imperial fleet, it had no, how do you say it? Well, not exactly cannons, but more like anti-starfighter guns. They only had the ones which were good against ships. So it slowly started to back off because the Mandalorians had 5 starfighters, 1 frigate, and also 3 of these sort of, well, 3 larger ones, which were freighters, I believe. Right. And, well, they were able to jump. Well, they were able to go into light speed and get away from him. Or, well, the cruiser. Now, eventually they found themselves back at Tatooine. And, well, they set up a new base there. And they hid the frigate and also all of their ships, creating a Mandalorian guild there on Tatooine. On one of the larger towns, although not the largest, but also not the smallest. So, yeah. And also it has a good number of bounty hunting opportunities. And they also made their guild underground. They had the hangars for their ships underground, training areas, sleeping quarters, and all that good stuff. And, well, Deku was proclaimed to be the best sharpshooter they had. So, the blaster which you currently see here, that was the one which Deku would use. It's essentially a semi-automatic sniper rifle. Yeah, although it does pack quite a punch. And well, he also excelled at dual-wielding pistols, those being the Mandalorian-made ones right here. While Bell, he was more of the one who was going to close quarters combat, that being using the flamethrower, and also I believe that they're called vibro knives. So yeah, he was excelled at using that. And as all that was going on, they began even more training, this time a bit more and harsher, since their last base was completely destroyed by the Imperials. Now, they sent out their Mandalorians as bounty hunters, although they dispersed them all throughout Tatooine. Although that was still extremely unusual because, well, believe it or not, Mandalorians were rather rare to find, or at least in groups, and guilds were usually targeted by the Imperial remnants, or, well, the New Order. Or even in some cases the Republic, if they were the Imperial Mandalorians which basically left their pride and honor to join the Imperials. But essentially, as all that was going on, Bell and Deku were at this point 14 years old. And, well, Bell and Deku were sent together to prove themselves. Although they didn't have this type of armor yet, because this was Beskar armor. They didn't have the exact same helmets. They more had like since it was Tatooine, they had, well, the gauntlet which had the flamethrower on it. Both of them had that. Also with Deku having the sniper rifle and 2 pistols, and Bell, who was the more close range to mid-range fighter, had basically the standard issued, rifle for Mandalorians. Sorry guys. Sorry about the wait guys. So let's see, I think that I left off with saying what sort of armor Bell and Deku had. So essentially, let's see, they had basic protection against blaster fire, that is breastplates, gauntlets, and also shoulder pads. They really had nothing on their legs, and well, for helmets, let's see. Deku had the, let's see, not the Beskar helmet, but rather in a, how do you say it? In a helmet specifically made for people using snipers. So it had a targeting system and all of that, so it was easier to shoot the sniper rifle. While Bell's helmet had a bit more protection, seeing as he was the guy always getting up close. Although, and also because he had his cybernetic eye, he could be of, well, great help in a close quarters combat. And, well, they were sent to, well, go ahead and bounty hunt. And, well, keep in mind that Bell and Deku had also voice changers, so they sounded older, and also the fact that even though both of them were currently 14 and 15 years old, with Bell being 15 years old and Deku being 14 years old, yeah, both of them, how do you say it? Both of them were basically as tall as adults, with both of them being 6.3 feet tall. So, yeah, rather tall. And keep in mind that they were still growing. So, yeah. And, well, when they went to the, well, basically Bounty Guild, and they saw what sort of bounties were there. They saw bounties on hunting people, on villages requiring help, and all that stuff. And so they picked the one where they needed to hunt down in a local bandit of sorts. He had his own gang and all that. And so they accepted. This bounty was worth, I believe, let's say 400 credits. And Bell and Deku were like partners, so yeah, they would always split it evenly. So 200 credits for Bell and 200 credits for Deku. And so that's exactly what they did. As they went ahead and gone after the bandit, they saw his gang, which all of them had, how do you say it? They didn't have any sort of blaster rifles. They only had, what do you call it, blaster pistols. So, yeah. And also none of them had really any sort of armor. The best armor they had was that all of them had a large shoulder plate. And also, three of them were humans. One of them was Twi'lek. That was the leader, or well, the Twi'lek. And simply put, Deku went ahead and got his position on a sand dune, while Bell went ahead and, well, actually no, since both of their armors were like, how do you say it, had sand on them, so they were able to fit in quite nicely. So yeah, Bell, and it was also the evening, so yeah. Needless to say, when one of the bandits noticed Bell, before he could even shout anything, a blaster is just heard firing. That being Deku, who is currently about, I would say, 400 yards away. And he shoots him and bang. The bandit falls dead on the ground. Now, the other three immediately spring up, and at that point, Bell rushes towards one. Using his flamethrower, he burns one of them, and using his vibro knife, he takes out the third human bandit. Now, their leader is only one left, and he also has a blaster aiming right at Bell. But before he can do anything, Deku simply shoots, how do you say it, once, and bang. The leader is dead. For confirmation, they bring the body on their speeder. That being not exactly a speeder, but more like a personal carrier. That being like it can handle 6 people at once, and it also even had on a, how do you say it, in a blaster. It had a crate. It had 2 crates. One crate was filled with, how do you say it? It had 7 blast charges, and also 2 detonators, and on top of that it also had 3 impact grenades. And yeah, that would be extremely useful. And while the other crate had more, how do you say it, ammo for blasters, and even 1 standard stormtrooper blaster, that being the IC something. I've sort of forgot. I should get a list of blasters soon. But anyways, they brought the speeder along with the corpse to the Bounty Guild, and well, they gave them their 400 credits. Oh, right. And also after, well, seeing through what sort of things they had, they found out that they also had 260 credits on all four bodies. So yeah, they had 670 credits currently. And they went ahead and told that to their mentor, that being Jax, who at the time was issued to kill how do you say it, a Rancor, which, unsurprisingly, he succeeded, using his not vibro blade, or more like a vibro sword, and, well, simply stabbing it right through its skull, with the Rancor falling dead. And, well, he was proud for them of their first bounty being a success. And he gives them another bounty as well. This time on the main, basically the capital of Tatooine. And well, they went ahead there. He said that the people there were, well, they were working for Imperials. Now, Bell and Deku were immediately a bit, well, shunned by this sort of proposal, but that's when their mentor told them that the Imperials were offering 5,000 credits. Now, that was a lot of credits. That's when Bell and Deku simply asked the mentor why he was sending, well, them, since they were new to the job and also quite inexperienced. He simply told them that this was going to be in a rather difficult request, and if they were able to actually do that, that they were going to be able to pass forth. That being that both of them were going to be getting in a Beskar made shoulder plate. So just like the one you see here. The left shoulder plate for Deku and the right shoulder plate for Bell. And both of them were extremely astonished, because usually you get Beskar armor once you, how do you say it, after I believe 16 years when you're in the true Mandalorians. Although I'm not exactly sure if that was the right source I found. And well, they're currently 15 and 14 years old. So, yeah. And well, because they were true Mandalorians, they always kept their helmets on. Since they didn't have any Beskar ones, they simply took the ones which they had. Because currently, they really didn't have that much on them. Like in all, they had like 11,000 credits all throughout them. And the 5,000 credits which they were going to get from the Imperials would help them immensely. And well, Bell and Deku were gladly give those credits to them. Although the mentor simply told them that 1,200 credits will be staying with them. And well, both of them simply nodded and said, alright. They took their speeder along with equipping themselves, both of them with, that is, Deku equipped himself with chargers and the detonators, while Bell took the 3 impact grenades. Along with and well, Deku also added to his arsenal the Imperial blaster rifle, which wasn't exactly the best, but it also wasn't the worst. And well, as they entered the bounty area, they were greeted with 11 stormtroopers, all of them eyeing both of them. And well, when they entered, they received the request. It was a request to kill a rebel or a New Republic diplomat which was going to be handling the diplomatic relations with Tatooine. Now, both of them were rather surprised by this, but they took the job anyways. Now, and also he simply told them that if they do kill her, that the Empire will know. Both of them simply nodded. And well, they went off. Now, they knew that the rebel leader was going to be arriving with a rebel fleet. So yeah. Essentially, they found out in which town, that being one of the larger towns of Tatooine. Deku made himself comfortable on a sand dune because, well, his sniper rifle had a max range of, let's say, 2.5 kilometers, being the range of which was lethal. And, well, he was at the prime angle. And that's when he saw the rebel frigate enter into the town. And that's when he also saw above him a rebel fleet consisting of 7 frigates, 2 cruisers, and 1 stolen Imperial, well, Star Destroyer, which had the gigantic, how do you say it, insignia of the rebels. You know, like the Phoenix, I believe, that's what they have. And it had that. But, well, as soon as the door opened, 10 elite rebel, how do you say it, guards, I believe, I think that's what they're called. They're the ones who actually have all the, how do you say it, proper armor and the actually, how do you say it, lethal blasters and all that crap. And who are also specially trained. And that's when he sees the diplomat. Although there's just one problem. There's 3 of them. Now this complicates things, because as soon as he shoots his sniper rifle, or yeah, if he hits the wrong target, all of the rebels are going to be sending their starfighters all around the area to try and find the one who shot it. And, well, he had one chance. That's when Bell, who was currently in the city, was tasked with something. And Bell simply grinned and said yes. Deku told him to take 2 of his impact grenades and, well, basically throw them at the nearby buildings where the guards were. This would in turn probably kill 2 of the diplomats, and Deku will be the one who shoots the 3rd one. And if they're lucky, all their attention is going to be going towards Bell. And, well, they go ahead with their plan. Although, before Bell could even make it out, another blaster fire is heard. That being that out of nowhere, several dozen stormtroopers just ran out of the buildings and started firing at the rebel soldiers. Now, when the rebels see this, along with the diplomats, Bell and Deku both realize something strange. 2 of the diplomats are actually male. When all 3 of them, well, when the target is a female diplomat. The female diplomat is being escorted by 2 of the elite rebel guards back to the frigate, while more rebel soldiers are, well, being dispatched. Deku takes the shot and fires. His shot lands on his mark, right through the heart of the diplomat. She falls down immediately, with the rebel elite soldiers trying to cover her as best as they can, but it's too late. She's already dead. And at that point, Bell takes 1 of his, how do you say it, impact grenades and throws it right in the hangar bay of the frigate. And as he does that, it explodes. Now, the frigate is now also, well, unmovable, and also most of its communication sensors and radars have been completely, how do you say it, disconnected or cannot be used anymore. So that also bought Bell more time, along with the several dozen stormtroopers, which is like 36 stormtroopers against 20 or so rebel soldiers. And so Bell simply goes away. That's when both of them gain through their comlinks something. That being the Imperial, well, basically officer, which they spoke to earlier. He gives both of them 5,000 credits, which they weren't expecting because, well, the Imperial simply said that it didn't matter to them which diplomat you chose to shoot, because they were actually thinking that their 36 stormtroopers were going to kill at least 2 of them. And the fact that they were able to kill all 3 of them so precisely, well, they were given two times as much. That being, instead of 5,000 credits, 10,000 credits. And they took it gladly. And basically that entire town turned into a war zone, with stormtroopers, rebel forces, several ATST walkers, I believe that's what they're called, the Imperial walkers also showing up, 3 of them being there, and also the Rebel Alliance sending some of their own ATSTs along with other rebel tanks and all that. And needless to say, after a battle which lasted a day and a half, the New Republic is victorious, with the stormtroopers, all of them being killed. Although now they are wondering who exactly was the sniper and the other bounty hunter which was able to, well, kill the diplomats. And, well, at this point, Deku and Bell go back to their base. They give 9,000 credits to their mentor along with the other, with their mentor being the second highest ranking Mandalorian there, with the first one being their elder, the one who was a Mandalorian ever since the Republic was formed. That is not formed, but that he was also alive when the, how do you say it, the Republic was still there. So yeah, he's rather old. He's like, I don't know, he's 57 years old. That sounds good. And he's their leader. Now, after he gets 9,000 credits, he simply asks them what they exactly did to get this much. They told him that they took a bounty from Imperials. Now, the mentor isn't exactly fond of them because of what they did to Mandalorians in the past, but still, credits are credits. And that the two Mandalorians are eventually going to take back Mandalore itself. Although that has proven difficult due to Death Watch, the Owls, and the other different clans of the Mandalorians, which were basically split off. And well, using those 9,000 credits, they were able to buy more supplies, ammo, blasters, and also several more ships actually. And because of what they did, bringing 9,000 credits, they were awarded a bit more Beskar armor than they even thought they would get. They were given the helmets, both of their shoulder pads, and also armor for the entire arm. With also, I believe it's called, how do you call it? Whistling shot. I believe that's how it's called. That's when those small, how do you say it? It can look onto targets and fire them. Those metal spikes, I believe. Both Deku and Bell are both given them, along with the flamethrowers both of them have, and they're also given some better weaponry, with Bell instead of a vibro knife now having a vibro sword, and Deku also being awarded in a Mandalorian main sniper rifle, which if the other sniper or well blaster rifle's range was 2.5 kilometers, the range for this Mandalorian made sniper rifle was 6.2. So yeah, a rather large difference. And well, after all that was gone, they simply went ahead and left Tatooine. Now they were currently in space, training on board of their frigate. And well, I hope you guys liked this first episode of What If Bell and Deku Were Mandalorians. I hope you guys enjoyed, and also thank you for 100 subscribers.